Welcome back to another video. It's Bradford v Tranmere Rovers match reaction. Let me know your thoughts on the game in the comments down below. After a massive win, back-to-back wins, and you just feel like we're going to go into a bit of momentum now with Bauer on the weekend, who lost again today. They're going on a bit of a blip. You've got Doncaster away, that we're good away, but there's always this feeling this season, previous seasons, that we're quite decent away from home when there's no pressure, but at home we've been poor. And today, it shows that we've improved a lot over the last month. We've gone one defeat, in 8 games, and we've got some good away points. Stockport away were a good point. Wimbledon away were a good point. Stevenage away were a good win. But you just felt like, well, we need to take that into our league form. We should have beat Mansfield, but we bottled it, and there were question marks over it. And today was a bit of a statement win, but we can win at home. And we can see a game out, and we can go and get the second goal. We got the first goal, and I felt like it was a game of whoever gets the first goal will win this game. Tranmere are poor when the goal was 0 down, and so are we. After conceding first, both teams struggled to get back in games, and we showed that today. But Tranmere showed that, but they couldn't get back into a game and struggled. But they were poor. But I think we made them look poor as well. I think they had 0 shots on target. Didn't trouble Harry Lewis, but he did have a good game because he did parry 2 of their crosses. They were the 2 only real chances they had, and they weren't even a shot. But yeah, we made them look poor because we passed them. We passed our way around them. I know we criticise ourselves for passing the ball too much, when we don't need to, but I think we tied them out today. We controlled the game, and they didn't look at any point like they were going to win it. We were the dominant team in that game, and we were worthy of the 3 points. I think I can't even remember the Andy Cook goal. Well, I remember it going in, but I don't have a clue how it went in. I thought it went over. The assistant referee had his flag up for something, so I thought we were going to get disallowed for some reason, but it went ahead. So Andy Cook scores again. It is unbelievable, and Jamie Walker gets 2 goals in 2. He went down injured a few times because he was my man of match. I can see why Adam Clayton got it. I thought he had a good game, but he wasn't man of match. Jamie Walker was fantastic. His work rate was unbelievable. He was playing as a defensive midfielder at some points in the game, pressing them. He didn't give them a second's chance on the ball. From what I remember, he won a load of tackles, but he won a load of free kicks as well. He was fouled 4 times in that game, and obviously got a good goal. I don't know if it took a deflection or not, but he played 30 passes and he played 37 passes, and 30 of them were accurate. So I think he had a really good game today, Jamie Walker, and he's had a tough season. I mean, he's been in and out of the team, and hopefully he gets a good run in the team now. I can't really see a way back for Harry Chapman. Sorry, I think he's going to struggle to get back in it. But obviously Walker's had his injury setbacks. I think he was out with flu around Christmas time, came back and got sent off. But now he's looking the real deal, and I think that midfield 4 is going to take some stopping, because although Clayton, we're getting a bit of criticism today, Gilligan's had his fair share this season, but he's been rightly praised of late. And Smallwood, a lot of us feel like he hasn't been a player we've bought, but we thought we were going to buy. I think it's a very strong midfield 4, and you've got players like Ryan East who can step in for certain games as well. So I think there's real positives to take from that game, and going into some big games, we've beaten some big teams in and around us, and we can only take positives from that. And we've got through these tough fixtures. There's still some tough teams to play, but you do feel like results went our way as well today. That leaves us 8th with 48 points, level on points with 7th, but we're only 3 points off 3rd now, because Carlisle have gone 3 games without a win. Northampton, they're on shaky form. Stevenage drew today, that's 3 games without a win for them. And Leyton Orient just edged a 2-1 win against bottom of the league Rochdale. And Salford drew, Mansfield won. There's some teams there who could really fall out of place in this league. We're hitting our form at the right time. 1 defeat in 7. Our form's looking better and better, and if we can go on a winning run as well as an unbeaten run, it's showing a statement now in the league that we can go on a bit of a run. So I'm very optimistic now about the season because we've got a bit of a set team going. It's a shame about Derbyshire's injury. I thought he were having a good start to a game, running into channels. Isa came on, but he didn't have that same impact. He wasn't making the same runs, and we were forced to play a few backwards passes because of it. He were coming deep, Isa, instead of running the channel. So I thought that was something to improve on. But in the first half, we were a bit passive, but like I said, we tired them out. There were a period in the 60th minute to the minute we scored with Andy Cook to get the second goal where there were a bit of discontent with the passing. There were a few too many backward passing instead of playing forward. But I felt it was key doing that because just before that period, Tranmere were going forward and the game were getting a bit scrappy. And I felt like we just need to step back, take some control of the game, take the sting out of the game, time waste a bit if we need, but just play the ball backwards a few times and just kill the game out and control the game, and then go for it a bit more later on and try and get the second. But and that's what we did, and I think that's what we were right to do. But obviously the players need a bit of urgency in them to play it forward every now and then. Otherwise we're putting unnecessary pressure on ourselves. But yeah, we'll get into player ratings now. A massive win, and I think the performance were quite good as well because two goals, clean sheet, stopped them from having a shot on target, and we played some pretty good football as well. So the player ratings, Harry Lewis gets a 7. Didn't have too much to do in terms of saves. Being made 2 important just flicks away from a cross, which could have turned to 2 goals. It would have been 2 shots on target, 2 goals because of balls that got flashed across the face of goal, and Lewis reacted quick and just flicked them away. So a good game from Lewis in terms of that, and it's Harry Lewis. I'm not going to mark him down, am I? Let's be real. Halliday gets it. I don't know. He could get a 7, 6 or 5 today. Halliday. There were spells in the game where I thought he was 7. He were bombing down the wing and getting in some good positions, made some good tackles. Then there were stages in the game, especially in the first half, where he was out of position a lot, and they were exploiting him a lot down that side with their left back Bristow. He were bombing down that wing. He needed support, and he got a bit more support as the game went on, and that helped him. So I'm going to give him a 7, a 6 between that. I thought stages in the game were good, but I'll just cast your eyes back to last season when we had Frelkeld and Henry as our right back options and Fink's cousin Dawson. And then when we criticise Halliday, and I do it a lot because I think he's a good option. I think he's a good player for the division and where we're at in the league. There's a lot better, but he's a good average player. But sometimes I forget that we have still got cousin Dawson, Hendry and Frelkeld on the books, and if he were to get injured or suspended, they're coming in to replace him, and they're a 5 or 4 out of 10 every week. Sometimes they'll get a 6, but that's once in a lifetime for them. So yeah, that's when you realise that Halliday getting a 6 isn't so bad. Platt, I thought he gets a 7. I thought he were really good. I thought Stubbs wasn't the best today, and I think that's because he's playing on the left side. You saw that today, but he don't look steady on that side. I thought against Stevenage he was all right, but today he got tested a bit more, and he didn't look confident playing a left-footed pass too wide out. So he tried getting it on his right foot. They read that a bit, saying he kept passing it back to Platt, and it became predictable. And he's got to get a 5 because he did look nervous today. And it's times like these we miss Critchell, but on to Platt again. I thought he had a solid game again. He's no nonsense, but he's good on the ball when there's no pressure on him. And in terms of, he made some good blocks as well, so he's a contender for man of match. But we all know that it's got to be Jamie Walker who gets it, the man at the moment. But on to left back, Liam Rideout comes back in the team against his former club. Obviously played against Stevenage, who were all right performance. He gets a 6 out of 10 for me, average. I thought he was alright, got down the wing a few times. He was high and wide, but most of the time when he got the ball he played it back to Stubbs or back into midfield. Of course, he ain't playing with a winger, and that's the same for Halliday. There's not a lot of options down the line for them. So, and they're not blessed with pace, so they're not going to be able to take a player on like maybe Bowler could if he had a run of games in the team. And obviously didn't have this injury, so I thought he was alright. Defensively he was okay, so he gets a 6. Onto the midfield, Clayton gets a 7. I thought he had a good game, not man of match. I don't think he deserves criticism. I thought he's been one of the signs of the season. His experience, he wins a few fouls, he gives fouls away when he has to. He don't get booked a lot. I know he got booked against Stevenage, but we're never a booking. But he controls the game so well when he knows when to, when the team needs a bit of urgency, he plays it forward with, good with a good intensity on the pass. When the team, when the tempo needs to be a bit slower, his experience knows that. So he'll just play a nice, relaxed pass back to his centre back, and he dictates the play really well, and he's a really good tackle, and he's really vocal on the pitch as well. He's exactly what we needed in that position. A fantastic performance from Clayton. Again, he gets a 7. Small gets a 6. I thought he was alright. He's playing in a much better position in terms of the box-to-box wall. Helps him a bit more. He's becoming a bit more vocal as well. I'm seeing him talk to the players a bit more, and that probably helps him with having Clayton next to him as well. I thought he was okay. There's room for improvement with Smallwood, but I think would be better off with East in that game maybe. But Smallwood he's got a good tackle on him, and his physicality is good in these type of games. So he had an okay game. Gilead gets a 7. I thought his distance covered, he's got to be one of the best in the league. He hasn't got the confidence to really play a Hollywood pass like Clayton and Smallwood did a bit in this game and most games, but what Gilead offers is a good carrier of the ball. Sometimes it goes sideways, but he keeps the ball going. He's got good strength, and he played some good passes in behind as well. So I thought he had a good game, Gilead, today. He's never, at the star. He's never a bright light, but he got in some good positions, created some good chances as well, and got in some good tackles as well. So 7 for Gilead. And then an 8 for Jamie Walker because of his work rate. Again, distance covered. He were in defence midfield sometimes. They were running as though, beyond their defences. Our furthest man forward sometimes. And he went down a couple of times. I thought, is he injured because of the work that he put in? He had a good game against Stevenage and he's continued that into this game. Fantastic performance. Deserved his 2 goals he's got. And like I say, after a stop-start season, he deserves it. And I keep forgetting, we've got also David to come back into his team and Ryan East. So, you've got Gilead and Smallwood and Clayton, David East, Walker Chapman. You've got some real good rotation in those midfield areas. And that midfield 4, he's got to be one of the best in the league. But, Walker, fantastic performance again and gets a my man of match. Let me know your man of match and the player ratings either in the comments down below, or you can vote on the community post on the channel page or something as well. On to the 2 strikers we started with, Derbyshire and Cook. Cook gets a 7, got his goal, fantastic all-round performance again, work rate, pressing the defenders. When Isa came on, he would have won running in behind, and I thought that was a problem. I thought Isa's got to be the one furthest up the pitch. He's got to be the one running in behind with his pace. But it was Cook, and he won some good headers. And at times he bullied their centre backs. I think in the air he won most of the headers, and for strength he was much the better player out of those 2. He got a load of change off them. But Isa came on, he gets a 5. Maybe a bit harsh, but I thought he wasn't making the ones into a channel, especially in the first half. Second half he improved, but he gets a 6. We won. And he wasn't that bad, but he should have been making more runs in the channels. He should have been the furthest one forward, and it did look at times like he was carrying a bit of an injury. I don't know if he was, but at times he looked to be pulling out with a few more, sprints like he normally won. And he also looked to have lost a bit of pace as well, running in behind a bit. But his overall performance wasn't too bad, but I thought, he was coming deep a bit too much, and his support to Cook wasn't the best. Whereas Derbyshire, he gets a 6 because he came straight off, but he started that first half really well, and he was forming a good partnership with Cook. So I hope he ain't out for a long time. But one thing I would say on it is, why was Mark Hughes playing him Saturday and then starting him Tuesday? He's 36. I think saying it's all down to age, it's not necessarily the right thing to do, but it's got to play a part. If you're playing a 36-year-old Saturday, maybe bring him on the next Saturday. You're using him well and you're managing him well. Where Saturday, Tuesday, and then maybe playing him Saturday again because he had a good game today, that's not using him well. No matter how fit he is, he's going to pick up some knocks. And whether it's his hamstring or whether it's a serious injury or not, if you're playing a 36-year-old Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, he's going to get injuries. And I just thought it was poor for Mark Hughes to pick him. When we've got the attacking options we have, I don't think he had to be. I don't think we had to start him today. But his overall performance before he got brought off because of his injury, he was looking really bright and one of our better players on the pitch before he came off. So let me know your player ratings in the comments down below. Massive win, keeps us in 8th, but the points between us and 12th now, which is Tranmere, is 7 points. So that gap is getting bridged, and the teams above us, we're all congested in that playoff push. I'd say from 9th Doncaster to 1st to Leyton Orient. Well, Leyton Orient on 67 points, aren't they? Well, maybe not Leyton Orient. But we've got 2 games in hand on Carlisle, and we've got to play Carlisle. We're 3 points off Carlisle, and we're on a very good extended run of 1 defeat in 8. If we've got to continue it on, we've got Barrow, Doncaster. Let's have a look. We've got Barrow at home. Then we've got Doncaster away, which we've got 3,300 fans going to, which is fantastic. Then we've got Gillingham away on Tuesday night the 28th, which ain't going to be that easy. Then we've got Colchester at home on the 4th, and then we've got Walsall on the 7th. So some big games coming up, but Walsall and Barrow and Doncaster, they don't look as scary anymore. Gillingham are still down there and aren't getting the results they probably should be. And Colchester, we've got to be winning that. So there's some very, very, very winnable games coming up. We're on a good run. We've got to keep the run going. And yeah, this season's starting to take shape, and it's starting to look good. I'm feeling a bit optimistic. So when better time can Bradford City mess it up. But let me know your thoughts on the game in the comments down below. Another big win, and the momentum keeps on coming. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Have a good one.